Welcome to Misfits.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Did I miss
Sorry.
Cheers. Sorry.
Cheers. We are in bad
I
mood
know.
today.
Thankfully, I don't have to talk much today. I had to talk the last time. So I
why
came
don't
into
we could
this.
just put you in some therapy.
I came into I'm going to need
Tell
therapy.
us what's really going on, Tammy.
Oh, it's going to be group therapy.
Yes,
on the
exactly.
today.
Exactly.
It's been a day.
So we have Rebecca Maxwell with us, who most of our people know.
Yeah.
We have so many viewers.
Okay.
Yeah.
All two of them are going to
No.
be really excited
They're
to watch
super
you.
excited. They're like,
My
Rebecca's
dad
going to be
and
good.
Kristen's mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Loyal listeners.
Tammy's parents watched this on their big screen TV. Like they watched
Wow.
the YouTube. And so her daughter's wedding, her dad walks, I've never met her dad. He walks up to me. They've all heard this story. Walks up to me and he's like, "You're famous." And I'm like, what do I say to this very kind man he's like, I love you. You are so kind. And you've been such a good friend to my daughter. And I'm like, who does Tammy know that's famous? And how am I going to tell this man? I'm barely listening. It was great. It was so sweet. It was so sweet.
Now
So
you were famous. They watch you on the big TV.
they watch it on the big
YouTube.
screen TV. So yeah, I love it. So and my
I
mom
love
watches, so
Mhm.
we have two.
Lots of people are going to watch this.
No, they do.
Just
They
feel
watch
it.
So, so Rebecca, we're in a legend session. So you are a
Ooh.
legend.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
So
Yes.
we break them up.
Yeah.
Every month we do a different characteristic. So
Okay.
we're talking about Sabbath this whole month. And
Great.
we start with a life session, which is just kind of a catch up. On our life. And so we just recorded that. And then this time we went over my goals. So we set goals every year. And one of our goals was to review our goals because we'll set them and then we never review them. That's important.
And we pick a word. We have
and
to,
we pick a
have to
word.
give our
Okay.
words.
Okay. So she reviewed her goals Q1. I did Q2, which was the last recording. And so I talked the whole time
About
my goals. So
you did
today,
a good job. We're going to talk about Rebecca.
I'm just out. I'm going to sit back and relax like I'm a real listener.
Yeah, exactly. You are quiet today.
I don't mean to be. It's the weather. I don't know.
Friday told me that when we saw you on Sunday, no, when it was Saturday last week, he's like, I've never seen Tammy so stressed. And I was
Welcome
like,
to politics.
Oh, I said, she's not stressed.
Nope, stress.
She's a redhead.
I'm
She
just
is talking to
just-
people.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
So we don't want you
78
stressed.
days, and then I will be unstressed.
Yes. We can't
Not
say that
stressed.
because the podcast
Sorry.
is not 78 days. It's like,
It's less than that now.
yeah, exactly. Because
So
we're a
many
week
days
ahead
by the
because
time it
Rebecca's
airs.
going on
Yes.
vacation. Well,
Yes.
or not. We just talked about.
We shall
Well,
see.
yeah,
It depends. We'll see.
Yes, we just
We'll
announced
see.
to Rebecca that she is talking about Sabbath, so she's really excited. She got a 5-minute warning for
Very
Sabbath.
ready to go. Lots
So,
of quality stuff.
Yes, but
Holy
we don't
Spirit
care.
filled.
We just want to hear about your story.
Yeah.
So give us your story. We know you have a book, so we'll have to talk about your book a little
Okay.
bit, but we also need to hear who is Rebecca and tell us about Rebecca.
Oh my gosh. Do you want me to go all the way back to the beginning?
Yes.
Where should I
But
start
before
with
that,
the
let's
story?
start
with the most important thing.
Yes.
Rebecca is LifeWork alumni class of 2020.
I am.
No,
that is true.
That's
a
conversation.
That is true. Did you enjoy life?
I did.
Yeah,
I
we can't
enjoyed
say
it.
on air now that you
Right.
can.
We have some really good speakers. Yeah.
They
You
were
guys
good.
are connected to some great people.
It's amazing, aren't
Yeah.
they? Some of the speakers. How was your table? And
My
all
table
that?
was great. We were just kind of chill. We
Yeah.
enjoyed
very chill.
chill table. We enjoyed talking about things and we got along well and
Nice.
made lots of great connections.
Yeah.
So had a great time.
I like my whole board of directors is life workers. now
really,
at Legacy. Yeah.
that's awesome.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And outside of my table, I met some great people as well.
Yeah.
I made some connections for lots
Good.
of different things. So
Yeah.
I was really glad about that.
Yeah.
I think it's easy to stay in your little bubble. You
Yes.
know, like I have a private practice and there's about 18, 19 of us. And
Mhm.
it's really easy because there's so much going on
Right.
to just stay in that bubble and go to work every day and see clients and run my practice.
Mhm.
And it's easy to not spend time in the community getting
Right.
to know other business
Right. Yeah.
leaders. And so it really helped me.
Well, and
do
your
that.
practice hasn't been that long. I mean, you've
No.
been so inwardly focused that
Yeah.
it's hard to change gears and look out.
Yeah, for
Right,
sure.
and what's out there.
It's grown
So,
leaps and bounds in the last 11 years. So, so my story,
Yes,
okay. So grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio, went to Georgia Tech for architecture, did that for a year. That was not my jam. I was not very
What made
good
you
at it.
think architecture?
I liked math in high school. I was pretty good at math, and I took a couple like drafting classes in high school, or like engineering drawing, I think is what they were called. And I was like, oh, I kind of like this.
Yeah.
I should go into this field. But then calculus got me.
Everybody. Right. Yeah.
And I hit my ceiling.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And it was professors that said, like, hey, you got to really love this, like really love it, because you're going to make no money for a very long time. And I didn't love it that much. And I wasn't that good at it. So I have a degree in management, and I did marketing for about a year and kind of fell into youth ministry. Sean and I were serving at the church he grew up in, and their youth minister was moving on. And some of the moms actually came to me and said, hey, we heard you need a job. And so with the Lord's leading, I just jumped into it and got a quick youth ministry certificate and started a 15-year career in church ministry, kids and students. And eventually when we moved here, I also did some adult discipleship. And then one day the Lord was just kind of impressing on my heart that there was something next. And I wasn't really sure what that was. So I spent a couple semesters in seminary and didn't get any clarity on what that was. Learned some things I definitely didn't want to do. And this was a really pivotal moment for me. And it's a great question, I think, for people that are trying to figure out what's next. Because I loved youth ministry. I wasn't trying to get out of youth ministry. I just felt like the Lord was preparing me for something next. And this friend said, well, what do you love the most about what you're doing now? And I said, I love talking to teenagers about life and just kind of mentoring them through life. And she said, well, you sound like a counselor.
Yeah.
And that was like, ding, 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 light bulb.
Oh, very cool.
And so I went back and got my master's. And the time I was getting my master's, we ended up at Beach Church and met Joby Martin, ended up in a disciple group with he and Gretchen. And he asked me to come launch 1122 and build the kids program. And so I was doing marriage and family therapy masters and launching the church. And God just told me, I'm going to put these things together.
Right.
Trust me. Because I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I thought
I was stepping out
I was stepping out of this. And it's been an amazing ride. I only worked at the church for 3 years now of the, 14.
Gosh,
it's been
it feels like you were there forever.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was 3 years. I know.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
So, and then I launched my private practice in 2015 with just myself. And I had more clients than I could see. And so I just started adding contractors, staff. And
so I was just going to ask, are they independent contractors?
They're all independent contractors.
Okay, so that's good.
Yeah, that's pretty common practice in our field. Yeah.
Okay. So do you share people or they bring their own, like book of business, if you will?
So a couple people that have come from other practices have brought clients with them. Because, generally we try not to, dictate where clients can go.
Right.
And who they, they want to stay with their people. But some people have brought people over, but mostly it has been people that are getting out of school and just starting their licensure process. And so with my connections, I have been able to build a great referral business. And so been able to raise up a lot of students who actually take students as well.
That's great.
That are in kind of their final semesters. And
so they have to have like practical hours or whatever it's called.
Yeah, practicum, internship hours. And they need about, 700 or 800 just to graduate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And then you go into registered internship where you have like a license with the state, but then you have to get 1,500 hours to be fully licensed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's a lot. It's a lot.
Does it have to be supervised hours?
Supervised hours. And not supervised like I have to be in the session with them. I'm just responsible for their caseload. So I have to case consult and staff all of their cases with them. Yeah.
Makes me feel better about therapy.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of supervision before someone is just kind of on their own.
Right.
And I really believe, our practice is a practice that comes from a biblical worldview, but also utilizes evidence-based practice. And that's really important to me that as a believer, I am submitting myself to the authority of our governing body in the state. I think it gives our clients some protection that we are following the code of ethics and have certain training and that sort of thing. So I'm raising up I'm raising up other clinicians and seeing my own caseload. And most recently, I've written a book called Jesus and Your Mental Health
In your spare time.
in my spare time. And it's been going really great. It's great. It's
That's awesome.
way better than I thought. Really.
This came up in our staff meeting
Okay.
this week. And like 4 people have your book.
Oh, that's so
And
great.
we never, like as an office, never talked about it.
Yeah.
And I was like,
That's so great.
oh, that's awesome. Yeah. I'm like, I'm interviewing her this week.
That's
She's
so
going to be on. Yeah. So that's great.
Yeah.
And our friend Catherine helped.
Yes, she did.
Catherine Way
Catherine
helped
Way.
launch it.
Yes. I thought you were talking about in your office. And I was like, she helped get the books out.
Mm-mm.
She helped.
She was a huge help. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
And she really helped. She knows her stuff. So
She does.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very grateful to Catherine.
Yeah.
When did the book release?
It released last June. So a year.
Almost a year.
Mhm.
Wow, already.
Mm-hmm. I know. It goes
Yeah.
really fast. And I still feel like I'm in the middle of promoting it and
Yeah.
speaking about it.
Right.
And maybe that'll
Because Beach
never
is
stop.
doing it, right? Are they doing your series?
Yeah. It's not, the whole series isn't based on my book, but I did help Jerry with some ideas for, they just finished a 6-week series and I spoke on stage with Jerry on
Mhm.
Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of like wrapped it up and it was
nice.
received really well. So I'm thrilled that more churches are talking about mental health.
Right.
And I think the church should be talking about mental health because it's such a big topic in our culture. And
Do they find you or you find them? Like, are you networking to get to them or are they finding
both?
both?
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're still, like you said, still doing a lot of
Mhm.
publicity
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah. And I didn't realize when I wrote the book that I would also be equipping churches and lay leaders
Right.
with a resource
Right.
for when they meet with people. But
Mhm.
I've been doing some of that as well, meeting with churches and trying to equip them to talk about mental health, understand it a little bit more, get in the conversation.
Well, think about like that's what you were doing with your youth, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's like,
Mhm.
how wouldn't it have been nice to have you then?
I
Right?
know.
You didn't have to
I
learn
know
so-
so much more now than I did back
Right,
then. I probably gave
exactly.
some really bad advice.
Right. Right. That's very cool.
What do you think the biggest hindrance is for churches not discussing mental health?
I think a lot of it is just misunderstanding of what mental health is and is not. I think we've, as the church, traditionally boiled it down to you need more faith, right? Or it's a spiritual issue instead of understanding that, we are as humans made in God's image, we're heart, soul, mind, and strength, right? Heart is our relationships. Soul, obviously, is our connection to our creator. Mind, we have a mind that processes and makes decisions. And then strength is a body. So there's 4 parts of ourself. And sometimes the mind and the spirit like get lumped together.
Mhm.
And they are interconnected for sure. But we often just simplify it to, well, if you prayed more, if you trusted
Yeah.
God more, if you had more faith, you wouldn't have this struggle of the mind because we just didn't really understand the mind. And so trying to make the distinctions while allowing them to be integrated, but making the distinctions that no, actually you can struggle with mental health. And I've had plenty of clients who struggle with anxiety or have clinical depression, and they are very strong believers.
Right.
They
Right.
love the Lord. They, they do all the spiritual
They know all the
disciplines.
stuff.
They know all the stuff and they still struggle. And so making some room for that and being a safe place, I think, for people who are struggling. And I think the more you know, the less you simplify a
Well,
struggle.
I mean, like, you're not supposed to bring up your traumas or your, right? Like, church is not a place necessarily that we do some of that kind of stuff
Right.
historically,
Yeah.
right? So I think it's great, but I'm sure you're doing a lot of education of pastors
Yes.
because
when you go to seminary, you get one class on Christian counseling.
right.
And I know that because my husband went to seminary
And you're like,
I helped him with his class.
right?
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah.
You don't. That's
But
crazy.
but which is crazy. But when you think about like doctors, when they go through med school, they get one class on running a business.
Yes.
And money. Like we see doctors all the time in our business, and it's like they just don't know.
Yeah.
They're like, why would you do this way? And they're like,
Yeah.
nobody told us not to.
From a teacher's perspective, going
Right.
to seminary, there was not one class on like
teaching methods, like how to be a good teacher. Like they would tell you how to, expository studying, like how to break the passage down and, and they would teach you 3-point outline preaching, like, but not necessarily like teaching methods. And I was like, they're standing up every Sunday teaching. Right. And we've not given them any resources on teaching. So
Interesting.
Yeah. And really, it's so important because pastors and church staff are really like the front lines.
Yeah.
When people are struggling, they go to where they can trust. And that's going to be the pastors. And so at minimum, pastors and ministers need to be equipped with like life-saving techniques, right? Because some people come in there in crisis, in mental crisis, and that's really dangerous. So that's kind of that first line. And then, of course, they need good referrals. But so that's been a pleasant surprise, is that I've actually been able to work more with churches.
Yeah.
And encourage them to speak about it from stage, because there's plenty of passages where it fits, to make that connection. So yeah, it's been great. I've been really surprised. I'm blown away by how many books I've sold.
That's
I
cool.
only thought I'd sell a couple thousand.
Book 2.
Book 2.
It's coming.
It's all kind of like swirling around in here, and none of it's on paper yet. But I think the Lord's calling me to write on identity.
Oh,
which has been done for sure. But what I've learned in writing a book is that you need a lot of books on the same topic, because you're going to have different voices and different angles. Right. Yeah.
I didn't know a second one was coming.
I learned that in the commissioning interview.
Oh, nice. I only heard about the first one in our Flourish retreat with our friend Kim Weigel, and I thought, she's never going to write a second. But no, she was exhausting.
It was torture and it was exhausting. Yeah,
it sort of threw me off the I should write a book thing. But mine, I think, would be fiction at this point.
Yeah.
So, I think so.
So what's the craziest thing you've learned since starting your business, your practice?
Like from a business perspective.
From a business perspective, or I guess, and you can answer it both ways, from a mental health side of things. Like, I have to imagine, I shouldn't laugh, it's not funny. But I have to imagine that you have heard, and not that you can divulge that, but like, I am certain you have seen or heard some things that would blow people's minds.
Yeah. I think because we deal with mental health issues, but some mental health issues are tied into sin. Not all mental health issues are sin, but some are tied into sin. When we talk about addictions and the way people try to cope with their life in really bad ways. And so there's a lot of that kind of stuff, like the way that people are impacted by their life, their childhood, their trauma, things that have happened to them, and then what they run toward. It still just kind of, blows my mind. But so I've got a view into just the depravity of humanity. And even like learning statistics on things like pornography usage. And I mean, that has absolutely blown my mind. And even recovery from that.
It's just rampant, like that, right?
It's rampant. Yeah. It's rampant. And that's not even my specialty, but I have to know about it because it's everywhere, and it's such a big problem.
So many questions. Coming home after work.
Yeah.
And hearing people's problems.
Yeah.
I mean, basically that's what you're hearing. They're not coming to you with, life is great.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
So you hear people's problems at their worst all day long. How do you bring that home and shut that off?
Everybody asks me this question. And I think in general, because I started this practice like in my 30s, I think I had already I guess maybe I have just had some life perspective. I wasn't in my 20s, like just taking in all of life early. And so I think being in ministry, I already had some good boundaries. And so I think just naturally, I don't know what it is, but when I leave the office, I'm able to switch. To, okay, I'm going home to my family, my children. My kids were little when I was in school. And so, I would leave and go home to cook dinner and be with them and do homework, that I just kind of had to make that switch. But I will say it is still difficult when I have kids that are suffering.
Yes.
Those are the cases I take home and worry about and pray about a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see as many kids anymore, but I think for me, naturally, I'm pretty good at just kind of turning it off. But, in our practice, though, we do talk about like prayers of release and things like that. They're prayers of like cleansing.
Yeah.
Because sometimes spiritual issues do walk in, sometimes there are, demonic forces that are also, we approach it from all angles, but,
How do you do
stuff
that?
gets on
Like,
ya.
do you have like an all staff kind of like, we're just going to take an hour here before everybody goes home for a long weekend or something like that? Like,
we don't generally do that at the end, but we do have, today's Tuesday. We have a staff meeting every Tuesday.
okay.
And we always pray together every Tuesday. Right now we're doing a book study together. So we do some
nice.
sort of devotional or book study. So we're talking about these topics. We're talking about like the self of the therapist and how to have good boundaries and because a lot of people burn out in this field.
Right.
And so I've really tried to create this culture where we're there for one another, so
like
that
first and foremost, if we're good, we can be good.
Yeah.
Can you share information with other people in your practice? Like if a patient comes in and talks to you and you're kind of like, I don't know what to do with this one. Are you allowed to share amongst other?
Technically, we have to have what we call a release of information to talk with
Anybody else?
But with the ones that I specifically supervise, their clients know they will be talking with their case to me.
Right.
So there is a lot of that. There is a lot of that going on.
Right.
But most people are willing for their clinician to get assistance because people
it's
specialize in
input,
different
right?
things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
most people are willing to sign that ROI, especially for someone in our practice.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Do you like ever let? Go ahead.
No.
You go first. Mine is probably off topic.
Well, and I'm sure mine's not even appropriate to ask, but I will ask
Go
it
for
anyways. Trying to frame it better than when it's going to come out. Twofold. Are there certain patients that just annoy the crap out of you and you're like, I don't want to help you? And secondly, if they don't do what you're advising them to do, does
What
it
do you
get
do?
to a point where you say, and I come at it from a ministry standpoint. Zero counseling would be the worst counselor in the world, but I will get a lot of people that will sit with me and share life, whatever.
Yeah.
And you'll try to give them
Advice.
guidance.
Yeah.
Hey, I would suggest
They
read
came
this,
to you for
do this.
advice.
Right. They came to me and you give them advice and then they don't do it.
Yeah.
And then they continue to, want to sit with me but I feel like a lot of times they're wanting to sit with me just to hear themselves talk. They're not really wanting
Like, you'll
to
listen.
take
Yeah.
action and get better.
Yeah.
Which then it gets me so irritated because I'm like, seriously, like,
Yeah,
you're not
you
going to do what I said.
Yeah.
You
But
shouldn't
when
be a
somebody
counselor.
says, like, but I couldn't just sit and keep hearing it. And I'm sure you do.
So what we have in our training that a regular kind of mentor or coach may not is we have the skills to dig into blocks. When someone is blocked from taking a step, from doing something that we all know will benefit them, that is like a therapist. It's frustrating, but it's also a dream because it's something we can move into and figure out. Right.
Yes.
So there's
Clearly why I'm not a therapist because there's no blockage here. I'm like, do it or else.
there's a block for a reason.
No, but they have a block.
They
right?
have a
They
block.
have a block. They have a block. Right.
They have a block.
I'm a victim.
Right. It could be like a core belief.
Yeah.
I'm a victim. Everybody leaves me. Everybody rejects me. I'm not good enough. So a block tells us, okay, there's something there that is some sort of core belief or schema or way of seeing yourself or the world that is keeping you from taking the steps that you want to take. And that's really the part that needs the work.
Right.
Right. So it's not necessarily
It's sort of an identifier of where you go. You're like, ooh, I'm going to pick that wound.
Yes. We go straight into that.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's the wound. There's the wound that has scar tissue on it that we need to open it
Right.
back up.
Right. And
Clean it
dig
out.
in. We're going to dig in
Is
there.
it always good to open it back up?
Not every time. I mean, that has to be done with the client.
Yeah.
It has to be collaborative and not always. But I will tell you, most of the people that don't need to open their wounds aren't coming to therapy because they're not, their level of functioning is okay. They're carrying on just fine. There's nothing that's causing a crisis to the point that they need something to change.
That makes sense. Because I always think I'm the Not that I would need, maybe I do need counseling. I shouldn't say, I'm sure I do do that. Let's just preface that. But I'm more of the, if it was in the past and it's over, I don't want to move. I'm like, let's move, which I know is my personality.
Yeah.
But I feel like so many times people will sit in that for so long that I'm like, now it's just time to move on.
This is why Rebecca's here, because that drives us crazy.
Clearly drives me bonkers.
Yeah.
I would be the worst counselor in the world. Truly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I mean, I don't benefit from the opening up. Even now, I mean, we, clearly have some things in my history and, our marriage and all the stuff that could be a trigger or something.
Yeah.
And when you make me talk about it, open it up. Like, I don't do well in that. Like, I'm like, we did that.
You were very clear, like at your worst thing where you were like, Lord, don't let the kids remember this. Yeah. And let this be it and heal me from it. And that's a strong person that goes at something totally differently than, you're not a victim. You're not wallowing in it. It's not defining you. Like, I think that's a healthy, we all have that stuff.
Right.
So I think that's a healthy way to say, have I really conquered this? Have I dug out all the crap of it? And you ask the Lord to take it away.
Right.
I mean, and he
I think
did.
that's where I wonder sometimes going back and picking it up. It makes me relive it again.
Yeah.
I don't do it.
And it's not impairing your functioning, right? So those people that are stuck in
maybe ask Kristen that. Maybe it is impairing. I don't know. But yeah.
But those people that are stuck in victim and they're not able to live the life that they want to live, that's where we've got to.
I don't think there's anybody that's saying, I mean, you get indication from your relationships and the people around you that it's like, there's something keeping me from opening up. And I've had this trauma, whatever that is. It's got something from opening up and having open conversations because I'm afraid of.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
So I don't think you need to pick that wound because I don't think you walk around with it like it's a badge.
Right.
Right.
I don't know. It's interesting.
Sometimes people do. I was going to ask you if people ever get out of therapy, which is probably not enough.
Get out of there, like
get done with it.
Get to like
they should
better.
Yes,
they should. And I don't believe in people staying in therapy forever.
Yeah. Oh, good.
So I think you got one more session. Christian,
some people do, but really,
Rodney and I got kicked out of therapy because we graduated. Rodney said I should stop saying kicked out. He said that makes people think like we failed, and I'm like, well, I just mean he was like, I don't know what to do with you people. Everything's fine.
Time to go.
Yeah.
Time to go.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the things you should look for when you're looking for a clinician, because there's all different ones, just like doctors, there's going to be a fit for you is this person going to provide you with kind of a plan? Do they have a way that they're going to conceptualize your issues and work you towards where you want to go collaboratively?
Yeah.
And if they don't, if you're like a session first or second session in and you don't feel like we're starting to formulate a plan and they're giving you an idea of where we're going and what the goal is and how we're going to get there, then you probably need to go somewhere else, because there are a lot of people, unfortunately, who will just listen.
I just talk.
You're going to come for
hours.
50 minutes and you're just going to talk and talk and talk. And there's not going to be any movement.
Yeah.
And I just personally don't think that's
it's not worth it.
Very helpful.
Yeah.
I do think there is a place for talking and expressing and getting it out, but then there needs to be something next.
Yeah.
And if there's not something next, and that's why we have modalities in therapy, and modalities are just modes. They're ways of seeing problems, and there's like a treatment plan in each modality. And so, if somebody has that, that's good. And if they don't, you should find someone else who's more aligned with your goals.
And is there any benefit to pre-counseling? Like before trouble happens, like would you encourage people like, hey, you should come once a year just to like
a checkup?
Right. I mean, is it worth it for people to do that?
I say that for engaged couples, for sure. I think that you should do a course of 4 to 6 sessions to talk about all that, like let someone who does marriage counseling talk with you and bring up the issues that need to be discussed.
Yeah.
But I don't see we do like annual exams. I don't personally think you need that with a counselor.
Yeah.
Because that's not really what therapy is for.
Right. They're looking for
I think you would do that maybe with
trying to pick the scabs.
Right.
Yeah. There's no scabs.
Maybe with a life coach, like I'm not in the business of like searching for things for us to
solve.
Good.
Well, tell us how, as a Christian working woman,
Yeah.
woman, you
Men.
Sabbath.
Okay. So I always have one weekend day that I Sabbath, Saturday or Sunday.
Mhm. Like, is it on your calendar and you announce it, or is it like sundown to sundown? Like,
I would not say it's on the calendar. I think it's just become the rhythm with Sean and I.
yeah.
Because
Do you do the
he
same
works
day?
on Sunday. Yes.
Okay.
Usually. I mean, sometimes, we're traveling or
Yeah.
there's something going on, but for the most part, Saturday is usually
Your day.
our day.
Okay.
Yeah. And we don't do a lot. Like, we hang out at the pool.
Yeah.
They might play golf in the morning and I might go work out. And then we kind of reconvene around lunchtime and hang out at the pool. We might,
Just different. Like
whatever.
something different than what you do.
We might run errands, which doesn't sound like Sabbath, but
Yeah.
it kind of is, if we're doing it together because we like to be together.
Well, and
then,
also, like, when you don't get to do that Monday through
right.
Friday, I mean, the rest of the week, we don't, like, you can barely take your stuff to the cleaner, you know?
Right.
I mean,
That's right. Yeah, it's a hustle.
so, yeah.
And I learned that I needed some rhythms in my week that would I would consider these Sabbath because they're just rhythms that allow me the time to take care of me, heart, soul, mind, and strength. And so Mondays and Wednesdays, I actually don't go into the office until noon.
Oh.
And so I have a little bit of a slower morning.
Right.
I drink my coffee. I have my extended time with the Lord,
Mm-hmm.
and I get a really good workout in. I
that's
catch up
good.
on anything that's left over, especially Monday morning, anything that's left over from the weekend. And that has really, especially Monday. I love a slow Monday.
That's a nice way to start. You were doing that for a
eases
while. You were
into the
staying
week.
home on Mondays.
I work from home on Mondays.
Yeah.
I try to. Now, again, with campaigning, it's all different. But normally I try to make Monday a
That was really good. A good
really
rhythm for you.
It was
Yeah.
very good. I needed that to kick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it lets you, at least, like we always talk about, kind of almost brain dump on Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which made me feel like, okay, I can tackle Tuesday, Wednesday,
Right.
Thursday, Friday, because now I've got a plan and I've,
Yeah.
gone through the emails and did the phone calls, all the stuff that kind of hangs in your head that you got to do, that you're, going about work and you're like, I got to call that person.
Right.
All those things. Like I can get those done on Mondays. Yeah. So I do too.
Yeah.
I like a Monday call.
I need to figure that out, I think, because it should be on my accountability list. Because Friday, I was doing Fridays, but it's just like, it's not enough time at the office. Like I'm finding like, I'm not getting enough stuff done.
Yeah.
And so
I was trying to do Fridays also. And then like Friday ends up being the place where like you didn't have time to do it all week.
Right.
And so I'll just throw it on Fridays.
That's what happens.
I've got Fridays open. So I'll just dump all this stuff on Fridays.
That's what I
and then
do.
Friday's full.
Right. That's what I do.
So starting my week with
like that.
a morning, a good 5-6 hours in the morning
that's
is
very
great.
good.
And then I extended it to Wednesdays. And mostly on Mondays and Wednesdays, I'll work a little bit later. Like I'll work till
in the evening,
6:30 in the evenings. And so it kind of works out to come in later too. I've been doing that for years, 5, 6, 7 years, probably.
That's good. So everybody knows it. Your kids know it. Sean knows it. Your house is all to yourself.
Yeah.
Sort of with your mom.
Yeah.
But but I mean, you still get like, this is my block of time.
Yeah.
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 That's what happened. Like
really
my
good
Fridays ended up with, that's when you can come look at the whatever. And, I'll be there. I'll be here on Fridays. And then next thing you know,
It's almost like you need a day that's a home day for home stuff. I mean, and not like resting, but like, the plumber's got to come out.
Yeah.
The pool needs cleaned. I got to go to the doctor's.
I have an amazing house husband that does all that. Rodney works from home, and that is his jam.
That is great. But I mean, I feel like I don't have the time because I work every day.
Yeah.
So I don't have the time to do a doctor's appointment or a dentist.
Right.
Like they don't fit in. So I'm like, or go to the bank. I mean, by the time I get out, the bank's closed. I'm like, I can't get, whatever that is. Like, I almost feel like I'm getting to the place where I'm like, I need a work from home day for my job, but then I need a day to do just normal life stuff that, I can't get in. So,
because you have the same thing with your Sean works on Sundays.
Yes.
So you guys have like, cause Rodney and I usually, on Sundays are Sabbath. Like we usually go to church.
Yeah.
We come here, have a cup of coffee, go to the farmer's market, decide what we're going to do. And,
I've become the most pathetic churchgoer because my kids are all gone.
Yeah.
And my husband's working in church. So I go sit by myself in the back at church. I'm like, I'm like the most pathetic person.
Why is that
sitting in the
pathetic?
back by myself.
Why is that pathetic?
It's good. It's honestly good because I just
pay attention,
hide in the back and don't do anything. But then there are days that I'm looking around and I'm like, the people next to me are probably like, oh, look, she's here all
She's
by
all
herself.
alone.
Like, they're
No
going
one
to
loves
greet
her.
me like, hi, welcome.
Right.
And you're like,
Yep.
I kind of like it.
Yeah, I'm good back here.
This is
So.
my plan.
But it is funny going to church by yourself.
Yeah.
Like for 25 years, I've gone to church with my
With the
husband
kids.
and kids.
Right.
And now all of a sudden,
Yeah.
nobody's here. And so I just kind of hide in the back at church by myself, which is great. Kind of.
You could come with us.
A little pathetic.
We go at
Sometimes I look around.
7:22 on Sunday morning.
You
Yeah,
do?
That's
Yeah.
not me.
Ooh, yeah.
early.
It's not my jam.
No,
But thank you for doing that.
But it's
Bless
you know
you.
what's
Yes.
great about it is like you do have your whole day.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say,
Right.
but
It's
it's
over.
over.
It's over.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have your whole day,
Yeah.
and I don't know. Rodney and I have sort of gotten in a routine of it, and it's
And we've
okay.
heard that there's some families that like 422 because they can get up,
Yes.
make
Mess
breakfast,
around.
go to
Yep.
the beach,
Mhm.
come home and nap,
Yeah.
and then go to church.
I think I'm gonna like
Okay.
5:22 on Thursdays.
I think I am.
Yeah, right. Because
I
then
do
you get
too.
your whole Sunday.
do
I think they're gonna have a
And
problem with that
7:22
being
is late.
crowded.
By the
It's too
time
late.
you get
It's
out,
too
I mean, 'cause
late
we have
for
to
me.
clean
It's
up
late.
and pack up and drive. Like by the time you get home, I'm like,
No,
I get
I
it up.
can barely function. I can't remember
Yeah.
anything he says.
7:22 is late.
Even if I take
It's
notes, I'm
late.
like, what
When
happened?
are you
I
guys
don't
sleeping?
remember. Yeah, it's bad. That's not my. I'm a morning. Morning's better. Both of us,
Excuse me.
actually, Rodney too. So
Yeah.
okay. So what else?
So what
did
else?
you
I
do
was
to
gonna
Sabbath?
say, what else about that? Now that we've decided what church service to go to.
Right, publicly.
What else do I do to Sabbath? I mean, I think we're really good at taking trips, and
Mhm.
that is like a very protected way to Sabbath.
Mm-hmm.
Is when we go away on a trip, it's like we shut out everything.
Uh huh.
And so
That's good.
just being together and doing things we enjoy. You know, you don't always come back rested in your body,
Yeah.
but you come back rested like in your
Right.
mind and in your
Right.
soul.
What
And
about your
so-
kids? Do they Sabbath?
You know, I do not know that they have, well, I should say, yes, they Sabbath, probably in different ways than I would prescribe
Okay.
them to Sabbath.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if they have a great rhythm yet. You
Yeah.
know, one's in college and one just finished
Right.
college. So Chapman is like
Right.
working full time.
Right, busting
And-
his tush.
But I think he does fine with Sabbath.
Yeah.
I mean, Saturday usually, he doesn't have a problem taking a nap,
Right,
playing video games all day,
Exactly.
going out with friends. Like,
Does
he's
did
good
he
on the
move back
Sabbath.
home?
He's home right now.
Okay.
Yes. I keep saying that he and Colin are planning their escape.
Uh-huh.
They're both home.
They're going-
Yeah, they're both home because Colin goes to UNF and Chapman just started his job. So they're both at home, kind of figuring out
Right,
what's
gonna-
next.
Yeah.
You know, where they want to move to. Colin's
Right.
already said he wants to move out in the fall.
Okay.
So, but there's no plans yet.
Uh-huh.
So maybe we've made it too comfortable.
Yeah.
Well, that's my boys. Both my boys think they're moving to Alabama, Birmingham, as of August 1,
Oh,
which is
wow.
where their sister is. So they both just decided, one just graduated college and his lease went through the summer. So he's going to stay in West Palm. And then he and the younger brother, who is still at home, are going to move to Birmingham, which is great. I'm like, that's awesome. What are you going to do there? We don't have jobs.
When,
Do you have an
yeah.
apartment? No, not yet. Okay. It's
I
gonna be
know.
Great. So
I
we'll
know.
see. I'm trying to
Right
just-
now, it's just a pie in the
Yep.
sky idea.
Boys are just very different.
And they will
about these
probably
things.
figure it out. That's what Sean keeps
Yeah.
telling him. They'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Like
But you were really good when you're like you guys picked your Sabbath day.
we did. We're
when the
very,
kids-
yeah, we very, very purposeful. Like we announced it. Everybody had it. We made them hold to it. We
and it
still
was
do.
different days.
Yeah, different days, right? Because we looked at school for the kids, especially when they were in school. So their school, their homework, their sports, that was their work.
Yeah.
So you had to do it in 12 hours and you had to do it in 6 days.
Yeah.
And so it was when your 12-hour mark is up, you're done. And when you need to take
I
one
always
day
thought
off.
that was very cool that you gave
So we
them.
called them at the beginning of the week. You had to kind of call it as a family.
Yeah.
Like we would sit on Sunday and be like, all right. Because like Bailey was a competitive cheerleader and most of the events were on weekends.
Right.
So like if you're cheering and that's your work and you're doing all weekend, we would actually require her to stay home from school on Monday.
Oh,
But
wow.
your grades had to be good enough. Like,
Yeah.
so there was
Yeah,
always the like,
right.
you have to take a day. And if you're
Right.
competing in Dallas for the weekend, then you're coming back and you're not going to school on Monday. That's your Sabbath. But your grades have to be enough that you can, so
Right,
it was
you
like,
worked hard enough.
took some planning
Yeah.
to do. I mean, and
Yeah.
so we required them to have a day.
so
and
the
again, they were
boys
different.
never got that part.
The boys probably had multiple Sabbaths.
I know. That's what I'm thinking.
The
Ah,
Sabbath is not the issue with my boys. It's
Yeah.
the work issue. If
Yeah.
you don't work, you don't eat. We go that verse more
Yeah.
often with my boys. Well, one of the boys, I should say. But the boys was football. I mean, they
Yeah.
were so in football season,
Yeah.
they would leave at 7 a.m. Sometimes they'd work out in the morning before
Mhm.
school. Then they'd go all day. Then they'd have practice. And
Yeah.
so then they'd come home and they'd be like, they try to use the mom, my 12 hours are up. And I'm like, okay, but you still homework.
Right.
So therefore, you have too much on your plate. If you can't get done all the things that are part of your work in 12 hours, which is what God called us to, then you're doing too much. So either you skip morning practice.
I love that.
Yeah.
But it
I love that.
became I think we found that verse a long time ago that says you must work out your Sabbath.
Yeah.
And so I think that's where we got to. You can't just wake up one day and be like, today's my Sabbath and think it's going to be an impactful Sabbath.
Right.
It's not.
Right.
You have to work it out, which means you have to plan.
You have to prepare.
You have to prepare for it, or else
Yeah.
it's not really a Sabbath because
Yeah.
you're not in the right mindset for it.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's been, again, Bailey probably does it better than the boys do right now. They've not quite mastered it, but that's okay.
But I mean, it
Process.
takes us all kinds of time too.
Sure.
I
well,
mean, it took us a
I
long
know,
time. I mean, 90% of the time I'm saying, okay, I'm Sabbathing today.
right.
Right.
Throws up quick. And,
Right.
and then like
Yeah.
we talked about the other day in the podcast, there are seasons to life. Like right now with this campaign and work and all
Right.
this going, I'm in war. Like you don't get to take a break from war. When you're on
Right.
the battlefield and you are fighting and your opponent is coming at you, there isn't a, I get to sit back today. Like there are seasons, I think, which I've not been gracious enough with myself to recognize seasons. Like I've almost held Sabbath to a legalistic, which is good. I mean, Sabbath is good, but I've almost made it legalistic, which is not good. And so I think going through this campaign right now and realizing like I'm doing longer than 12 hours a day.
Right.
I mean, there are days that it's 7 a.m. until midnight and I am still cranking out phone calls and cranking out emails and, but to be able to balance the job and balance the campaign right now, I
prayed for you last night
Thank
and
you.
thought you should have some Sabbath time.
Thank you. I need to find it in there, but I also need to, I was becoming so rigid
But
about
I was
it.
thinking, I am sure, I mean, I don't know this, but like when David went to war, I'm sure he prayed before, like not every time because we know he makes those, but I think it's fair for you to say, I'm going to take 20 minutes in the morning or, just because,
I
which
definitely
you're good
try
at.
to take those times. Like this morning, I got up and didn't have to be until 9 o'clock. My first meeting was until 9, so still got up early enough and, had a little more quiet time this morning.
Yeah.
But I think the actual whole day off and, it's a little bit harder. Again, but I think it's a season. Like I can count the days. 78 days that this is going to be like this. And then, so I do think there are seasons to it, but ultimately, I think having a day, having 12-hour work days, 6 days, which again, I think that was the biggest aha for us when we studied the Sabbath was that culturally here in the States, we've gone to a 5-day work week.
Right.
And the Lord says you work 6. And somehow or another, we just missed that. So we kind of are like, we get the weekend and we pat ourselves on the back.
Yeah.
And so I think just the mind shift for me that I don't get 2 days off. Like that's not the way he designed it. Even though culture says, it's Saturday and Sunday. We don't get that. And then the concept of, Old Testament says you work from sun up to sundown.
Yeah.
And when we really studied that, that's a 12-hour work day.
Yeah.
And so really God's called us to 6 12-hour days of productivity.
Yeah.
And when you do that, then you want to rest because
you're tired.
Yeah.
But we've created a mentality of we're workaholics if we do that. And we're over, because if you put over more, 40 hours, then you should. Again, we always talk about it. And one more person tells me to be still and know God. I'm going to punch him in the nose. Because just because I go
Read the whole
busy,
song.
right? Just because I do more doesn't mean I'm not being
Right.
still and knowing God. It doesn't mean
But
I
it's
have to
also,
do less.
I mean, I think, you educated me years ago about it's not just your job. Like part of what's our job is taking care of our homes and, helping with our children and getting, what they need and stuff like that. Cause it's, you can't work at your job. Well, I think women,
but
I think as women, I don't know that we could work 6 days a week, 12-hour days and still have a functioning marriage and, children and, all those kinds of things.
which again, I think that comes from the verse that says, as a woman, we are to manage our household. And so that word manage is the same word that's used in Genesis when it talks about managing the garden, which is where we pull up work. So managing my household is part of my job, my work.
Right.
I have delegated this to God.
So, and that's good. I'm hoping I get to that place.
I love it.
He's very good at it.
You know.
Because that man makes a list and it is off his
That's
list,
amazing.
man.
Well, and then I think
It's
there's seasons
great.
of life for that too.
Totally.
When my kids were little and it's
Yeah.
so much more work,
Right.
Yes.
my career job
Yes.
took a little bit of a backseat because
Yes,
there
for
had to be
sure.
laundry and dinner and
Yeah.
all the stuff. But then as they get older and more
Yeah.
For sure.
independent, you can take on a bigger role. So I think there's seasons
Well,
to
and
that
Rodney
as
used to
well.
commute too.
Right.
I mean, he was gone, Monday morning at 6 until Friday night at 6. And so I did have everything else. So this is just a little turn the tables. It's sort of.
It's been interesting for me, like as my boys got into college and beyond, like how much that managing the household kind of went away, or Sean took on more of that.
Right. Exactly.
Things like that.
And he's like, I like to go to the grocery store. I'm like, great.
Yeah. I'll do that. I'll go to Costco. Absolutely never want to go there. But like my career has gone like this, where Sean is feeling like, how can I do less and play more golf?
Right. Right.
I'm
and
like,
we're excited about it.
Yes,
exactly.
That's great for you.
Yeah. And so I think there are seasons to all that. And so I think your Sabbath has to look different depending on where you're at.
Absolutely.
You know, and I always use the example of a Sabbath is different for every person, but it's also different for the same person every week. So what I did for a Sabbath this week might not be a Sabbath for me next week. And so I always say, I love to shop if I have money. But if I don't have money, then it becomes very stressful.
Oh, that's a
and
great
then
point.
It's not a Sabbath for me.
Right.
So when it says that verse of you have to plan out your Sabbath, I have to know if a Sunday is a Sabbath for me and there's a market and I get to go to this little boutique and it would just get a coffee and like I would love that if I had money. But if I didn't get paid that week and then I go do it and then I'm stressed because I'm like, I really want to buy this dress, but I don't have the money. And then Sean's that's that's not a Sabbath for me because I'm not really resting in that. And so what could be a Sabbath on this week might not be the Sabbath for me next week, which is where the planning of the Sabbath is so valuable because I have to know, you know, and Sean does it the same way with sports. He's like, if it's a great sporting event, I'll sit for the weekend and my Sabbath and that would be great. But if it's the Steelers and it stresses him out, that's not a Sabbath because now he's yelling at the TV. And so, I mean, you really have to know yourself. And gardening might be great for some, not for me. Like that's stressful.
But I think also, sometimes I think it's preached to us that like you have to sit still, and you're like, no, you can do something and still Sabbath. You know, like when you can't push an elevator button and you say you're going to go for a bike ride, it's like, is that Sabbath? I don't know. But so I do think planning it is a big deal. It's a really big deal.
And I think I always heard like thinking about what brings you delight in the Lord in that time, right? Because God has given us so much to delight in Him. You know, Sabbath for me is being outside, you know, and being in nature, whether it's on my back patio, my pool, or getting ready to go to Utah and being in the mountains. I mean, even if I'm doing a little work while I'm there, like it's just, it feels like a Sabbath to me because of the place that I'm in.
So you would be a naturalist. What was that in the book?
Yes.
You have the 12 ways that
there's different ways to Sabbath. There are different
I can't think what they were called.
Characteristics of like how you Sabbath. Like for me, like I love to clean. And so like that's like it's just like organizing and putting, and it's just like, it's like if like, especially if I've had a really brainy week where I've been in my head, if I can just like totally tear something apart. And then it smells like bleach, you know, I'm so happy. But not every time. Not every week. But like but there's some weeks that it's just, I just want to sit and read a book. And so it just depends.
Yeah, there were 12 of them, I think.
There
talked about. So like worship is one. Some people love to worship. Yeah. And I mean, I love me a good worship song, but that's not my go-to Sabbathy thing. There was an intellectual one, which I would say that's more of my husband.
Like you're researching.
Like when you have a deep debate with somebody or you're studying a
deep dive
theological concept that's,
I can't remember what they are.
I mean, that's his. So I think there was 12. We were talking about them the other day. I think there was 12, but naturalist is one where
just being in nature,
makes you kind of
go to the beach.
You know,
So,
and I'm sure that depends on the nature.
That's true.
In a snowstorm, it's not going to be the same as putting in a mountain.
Right.
So I mean, it all changes. So All right. Final words about Sabbath.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, I've just in this conversation just been convicted to plan it better. Right. Because usually it's like, okay, well, how are we going to Sabbath today? But really thinking through, you know, I love to be in nature. I love to be in nature. I don't go to the beach that much.
Yeah.
You know, and every time I go, I'm like, I should come here more.
It's so funny. This was on her goals list. Twice, 2 years in a row.
2 years in a row, my goal was to go to the beach 24 times in a year, which is twice a month.
Twice a month.
That's not that
feels
much.
doable.
We're like a block and a half.
I hit it in 2 years.
Yeah, we're a block and a half away. I live on it and I don't go.
Sad.
Terrible.
Sad. So
it's terrible.
We should go more often.
Yeah. Very good. Well, thank you for being here. We're very happy that you're here.
You can find Rebecca at.
We didn't talk about the book.
What's the book and your office? So if people need to call you.
The book is Jesus and Your Mental Health.
Go get
You
it on
can go
Amazon.
jesusandyourmentalhealth.com and get all the information about the book and resources. And if you're looking for my practice, it's jacksonvillecounseling.net. Yep.
We'll
Find us there.
Oh, let me get on that. She keeps pointing it to me like I'm supposed to do
Write
that.
that down, Kristen.
Okay.
All right, we're out.
Well, thanks
hold
for
on.
having me.
Cheers.
Good to be with you
Thank
guys.
You. Thank
Cheers.
you for being here. Happy Utah.